and starting my own law firm on my credit card to selling it 4 years later.
Sean and I, we co-created massive victories in 2 unwinnable jury trials, which are recognized nationally now as top 100 jury verdicts.
To be even on the same track with you, who I respect and admire and love with all my heart.
Never again submit. You're not better and you're not less than any human on earth.
When you shared with us about the Unblinded process and the mastery sales training, I just went, wow.
Sean will gain proximity to the most influential and powerful people. He will find out how he can grow their business, how he can help them personally. But the third thing that he does is the most important. Sean serves without an expectation of getting anything in return.
You have very, very high-performing colleagues.
22 years ago, you transformed my life as you did all of these people's lives over the course of time. I couldn't be more grateful. Let's hear it for Tony Robbins.
I don't see him as a lawyer, and I don't see him as a blind person. Someone who has subjugated his ego, who has taught me what serving really looks like.
You have this incredible ability to just have unconditional love for everyone, and that is just an incredible gift.
The moment you have been waiting for.
The American Blind Association is the first new face and voice of that association since Helen Keller.
Formula for formulas, which is exactly what I've learned from Sean. It's a language-based predictable model. We will have over 300 new sales meetings this month.
This superpower in the world that is attainable for you is the ability to influence people. If you believe that, say yes. If you believe that, say yes.
Do you think that worked?
This thing on Trajectory Tuesday. Thank you all for being here. You make this possible. More than 3,000 people have been on The Real Raw since its inception, post the beginning of this pandemic. Gina, what extraordinary, wonderful, heart-centered human beings do we have today?
Sean, we have Mr. Gary Rush, business coach, neurostrategist, business rock star, development, negotiations. He has his mission of a sports supplement company is coming to fruition, and he wants to sell it in 3 years with a massive financial exit. Welcome, Gary Rush, to The Real Raw.
Gary, I love your energy.
Yes, what's going on, Gary? How are you?
Loving life. Looking forward to today.
Yeah, awesome, brother. So what's behind the massive financial exit in 3 years? What's that going to provide for you, and what's coming to the world?
You know, where we are in life, we've always planned and done retirement planning, all that stuff, and we're in good shape. But this opportunity came along, and it's like, wow, we can do some amazing things. And one, just practical things. I want to buy another house because I used to be from Colorado. I want to get a house there, but more so, I want to just do other things where I can contribute back. And I've got some other projects, working with some people. It's going to be a blast.
Well, Gary, love having you here. And if the influence sorceress is loving your energy, you must be bringing the energy. What's your fun fact, brother?
My fun fact is the kids in our neighborhood knock on our door and ask my wife if I can come out to play, because I could tap into my childlike ability and be at the level of an 8-year-old in about 2 seconds.
Well, brother, we are aligned. I would love to hang. Yep. Since I don't even want to explain to you why I'm not on camera right now after coming out of the wave in 3 oceans, and I might be getting changed post surfing. So we are aligned.
I had a feeling with all that huffing and puffing, you might have been coming off the waves.
So surfed in New Jersey on Thursday, Costa Rica on Sunday, back to surfing New Jersey on Tuesday. That may all be happening. So Gary, welcome to the party, and your inner child is welcomed here.
Thank you.
G-Money.
Oh, all right. Next up, Sean, we have Mr. Samuel Williams. Samuel, are you present with us? And would you be kind enough to share a little bit about yourself in about 30 seconds, and where you're from and what you're up to in the world?
Hi, everyone. I'm Samuel Williams. I am a Nigerian. I'm a real estate entrepreneur, developer, and I also own a nonprofit. So that's just a little bit about me.
Incredible. Well, welcome to The Real Raw, Samuel.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
Samuel, what's your fun fact, my friend?
I love wearing black jackets.
I love wearing black jackets too. What do you love wearing that black jacket?
What do you love wearing about wearing black jackets?
Sorry?
What do you love about wearing black jackets?
I love the color black. It comes with a sense of calmness for me. Yeah. I love being sober sometimes. Most times, actually.
Very cool. Well, Samuel, welcome to the party. Your wearing of black is welcome here. That's kind of our uniform and our dynamic. So you're fitting in quite
I
nicely.
don't know about this hour stuff. That I know you like to include everybody, Sean, and you like to use we and our all the time. But this person over here does not like wearing black. As a matter of fact, I think I own like 2 black things in my entire wardrobe. So you can't include me in that.
Can you just write down that in honor of Samuel and Unblinded, we need to get Bella Verita an exclusively black wardrobe. So thank you very much. So Bella, we'll help you out.
Bella.
All right. So
Bella.
Money. So we got Gary, we got Samuel, we got some judges. Who we got?
All right, we have another real estate superstar, Lisa Blake, over 17 years. She has sold over 2,000 homes with her team, the #1 Keller Williams realtor in the world. 1 out of 170,000 agents. Yes.
That was so 2010, okay?
Yes, that was like 2010 ago. She's doing all.
Whoa. So Lisa, is it accurate to say that at one point in time in your career, you're the #1 Keller Williams agent in the world?
Yes, that is totally accurate. Yes.
Okay, and so like you're a champ. Like Muhammad Ali, who's no longer with us, one of my favorite athletes, my favorite athlete in history, he's still the champ, always the champ. So you're the champ. That's a remarkable accomplishment with over 100,000 agents. That's crazy, woman. That is absolute insanity. And I'm gonna give you a quick comparison. So if you are 1 in 100,000 in income in the United States, so you're 1 in 100,000 in agents at Keller Williams. If you're 100,000 in income, if you're 1 in 100, you make 400 grand a year in the US. If you're 1 in 1,000, you make 1.7 million. 1 in 10,000, you make 7.8 million. 1 in 100,000, you make 56 million a year. I'm not saying that's what you made at Keller Williams, but I'm comparatively analyzing where 1 in 100,000 puts you in the United States. So it is an unbelievable accomplishment. Congratulations on ever being that.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I couldn't have done it without my team, that's for sure. And I tell everybody that. So had an amazing team.
And unquestionably, and they wouldn't have done it without you. And I'm not confused. And what is your fun fact, Lisa?
My fun fact, so I have a cold, by the way. So if I'm raspy and I'm going to be talking with you guys for an hour, I might lose my voice. But my fun fact is I have a lot of them, but I have 3 beautiful kids and I lived in South Africa for 9 years. And a lot of people don't know that about me.
Lisa,
and I love black too. I'm wearing blue today, but I was cracking up because black is my color.
We're back in black, hanging out with Lisa, Sam, having a day. We got some more people, Gina. Who else is here?
We do, Sean, but there was one super highlight about Lisa that I just want you, I know you'd want to hear, and I didn't get to share that. Her dream is to help change the prison system in the US. So that was something she shared she wanted us to share, and I'm going to go, just sharing that with you, going.
And your heart for people. So thank you, Lisa.
Yes, absolutely. I have a big passion for that. I mean, there's a lot of things that we'd all like to do, right? But like Gary Keller from Keller Williams always says, that one thing, focus on that one thing. So I think that's the one thing that I really want to focus on is I think it's really, it's broken, definitely broken system. And there's a lot of people that don't focus on that at all because unless you've actually been impacted personally by that, people don't think about it. And I did have a loved one that dealt with that and it was not a good situation.
Yeah. Amen to that. I could drive into, I'm an attorney. Well, I own a law office. I have 125 people that work there. And we had a client at one time that ended up in prison. We didn't do criminal defense, but it was something that was predominantly civil. The guy ended up in prison, and what occurred in there. And by the way, I have a cousin that was a prison guard, so I understand the complexity of the dynamics from all sides.
Yeah.
But it was
Yeah.
atrocious. What went
It's insanity.
Yeah, and this guy, what he did, it was crazy that he was in prison and how he was treated. So, Lisa, thank you for what you're doing in the world.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. G Money, we got some other fine folks. What's happening on Trajectory Tuesday? Who we got?
We got coming to us from Florida, 18 years recruiting and training. Florida's in the house, Sean. Training financial agents and recruiting for 18 years. This man is a serial entrepreneur, like cracking down on when drunk driving was being cracked down on. He started a limo company while in college. Restaurants, nightclubs, his financial company, his medical device company. But now, Sean, he created his most proud company is I Decide the world's. Well, I mean, I'll let him tell you a little bit about it. Mike Baccia, welcome to The Real Raw.
Mike, what's happening? Welcome to the party.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Yeah, great to have you here. And Mike, what is your fun fact?
Fun fact is I've spent the last 3 years moving around Southern California. So I've moved 5 times in 5 different cities in Southern California, just trying to figure out where I want to be and just enjoying the nomad lifestyle.
You're like Bella Verita's people, but we'll come back to that in a second. So that's extraordinary. And what's the mission at this point? Like, what are you looking to create in the world?
Right now, we're as I mentioned earlier, we're launching a new version of our software. So we have an interactive presentation software that lets the viewer choose which parts of the presentation they want to see. So right now it's predominantly used by large companies with 5,000 plus sales reps. We're releasing a DIY version of that in the next couple of months where anybody can build their own I Decide presentation. So we're excited to help everybody, not just large corporations, but anybody who does presentations or sales presentations or fundraising presentations or anything will be able to have an interactive presentation that they can build.
Yeah. So brother, this is amazing. So not only do you have nomadicism in common with the influence sorceress Bella Verita, but you also literally have patented, created, and are unleashing a software program that has her life mantra. I decide. So, welcome to the party, my friend.
Thank you.
All right, Gina.
All right, last but certainly not least, coming from Westfield, New Jersey, an established attorney, Sean. He's an avid outdoorsman, professional. His professional practice is in the area of employment law, but his lifelong love is for dogs. He prefers them to people, often fostering rescue dogs. Welcome, Tom, to The Real Raw.
Tom, I am feeling you, brother. So congratulations on your awesome relationship with animals and your protection of people. What's your fun fact?
Well, I had one in mind, but I think I have to change it now that I've heard from Samuel. I love music, in particular Johnny Cash, and through this whole spiel, I've been singing Man in Black again and again in my head. And Samuel, if you're not familiar with the song, you really have to play it. It's really a catchy tune, and it describes a guy who dresses all in black. I loved hearing what Lisa had to say about prison reform. That's near and dear to my heart too. I think the real problem is that they're all privatized. So having prisoners is a for-profit sort of process. And so, nothing's going to get fixed until that gets changed. So fun facts. I spent a lot of time abroad. I've raising 2 sons. I am an employment lawyer, which is not fun, but it's a fact. And I have really enjoyed meeting the rest of you so far.
Yeah. And what's on your heart? Like, you're creating the world. You have it all your way. Like, what's the imprint, the legacy that Tom is creating and leaving?
Well, I think there's still a lot to be written to that story. So I'm just trying to do right by my kids and by my girlfriend and the people who are in my circle. Awesome. And trying to improve my practice and be the best attorney I can be.
Awesome. And how old are your kids?
They're 20 and 17, 2 boys.
Awesome. Well, congratulations on that. As a father of a 19, 17, and a 42-day-old, congratulations on your awesomeness. So
thank you.
Yeah, thank you. G Money, It's time for the influence sorceress. This woman is where you want to go if you want to think about talent, influence, gravitational pull. Like when she walks into a room, whether it's in this country or another, she resets the gravitational center. Just fresh off of surfing in Costa Rica, maybe some zip lining as well. This woman is source for talent, for marketing and selling talent. How did she get there? She learned how to do it. She was selling crafts on her front lawn as an 8-year-old. She might have had an interesting high school sales career, which we'll put over there for a minute. She became a 7-figure earner in the space of network marketing, went on to become not the number 3 or number 2, but like Lisa, number 1 business broker in the state of Nevada. And now she is the chief influence, chief cook and bottle washer of Align Talent. Again, sourcing, marketing, selling, growth talent for your professional practice or your business. The one and only adventurer, heart-centered, straight-up lunatic, whose mantra is, I decide. Bella Verena, welcome to Trajectory Tuesday.
Hello, Sean Callaghy. Since we were talking like favorite music and like, Tom was talking about, Johnny Cash, I think we should share with everyone your new favorite song from last week that you couldn't not stop singing.
And what song is that, Bella Verena?
So Gina, get this, for like 3 days straight, all I'm hearing Sean say is holla back girl, holla back girl. And he heard holler back girl on like in one of the Tony Robbins tents. And for 3 days, Sean is singing, if you can imagine Sean Callaghy singing holler back girl for like 3 days.
This is a gross misportrayal. I can't even, my attorney friends, I claim the 5th. This is total out of context that is happening.
That is just a projection of Gwen Stefani coming to speak, coming to sing on one of our stages, Sean, with you.
Yeah, that is exactly what's happening. So Bella Verena, please, your fun fact.
So my fun fact is, I think I'm going to go with the fact that, 2 weekends ago, I'm sitting with Melissa Etheridge, may or may not, sitting for Melissa Etheridge, having a private concert, may or may not be puff puff passing. And then the very next weekend, I'm like surfing waves in Costa Rica, like hanging out with a bunch of Tony Robbins Platinum partners and like doing all kinds of fun things. This is a pretty boring life to be part of the Sean Callaghy circus.
Yes, I would love to have your life, Bella. I don't know how you sign up for that tour, but sign me up.
Yeah, I think you're the ringleader of this tour. I don't think you need to sign up.
Yeah. All right. So Bella, thank you. G Money, you are extraordinary. You're not the executive producer of this whole dynamic. We love you. We are appreciative of you. You fire us up. You get this going. You bring your heart, your love for people, and the seeking of a capitalist structure where suffering exists. Suffering does exist in a capitalist structure, greatest structure in the world to me, but still suffering happens because we don't learn how to create acceleration for our money, time, and magic. We're freeing that up, working on that, and we create access to it through our superpower of integrous influence. So we're going to have some fun with that, Gina, but we love you and we'll see you soon. And Gina, if you want to go surfing later today, the waves are totally crazy, massive chopping and insanity. It is not Costa Rican waves right now, but it is abject lunacy. So see you later, Gina. Love you.
Sounds good. Love you guys. Have fun exploring integrous influence. Ciao for now.
Bye-bye.
Bella Verena, who's going first?
I'm digging on Mr. Gary Rush. So let's go with Mr. Rush.
All right.
All right.
Gary, Bella will be anybody that you would like her to be. She will transform herself into this avatar. Could be an ideal client, could be somebody you're raising money with, through, or from, whatever it is, somebody you're selling your company to. Somebody you want to come on as a key employee, teammate, whatever a yes that would matter to you, Gary, in the world, that is who Bella will be. So Gary, who would you like the influence sorceress to be?
I will select today Mary. Mary White Contrary. She likes white. So
I thought you were going with like Virgin Mary.
Oh yeah, I was that too. That was my second thought.
Oh, okay.
So Mary, I've got to give a little setup before I get into my little thing.
Yeah, please.
So you can be a good role player for this. Is we have a massive purchase order for a supplement our company developed.
Okay.
And to make that supplement, we need a specific ingredient that only one company in the world makes, but they haven't made it in several years, and they're having trouble replicating it. So to get this ingredient replicated, we need the CEO, who's also the chief scientist, to collaborate with our company, because we have a guy that is a massive innovator. He's done amazing things. And if he works with this guy, we can get this thing replicated. And the challenge too is this CEO is very significance driven, very certainty driven.
Oh boy. So Bella, you are significance and certainty driven, Bella Verita. And Gary needs.
It's going to be a very difficult role to play.
Yes.
You got to put it on. Come on, put your game face on.
This would be a deep, deep dive, Bella. So please do your best. Okay.
All right. Got it.
Take us in.
Okay. Hey, Mary, how are you today?
I'm just fine, Gary. How about yourself?
Great. I'm loving seeing you. Hey, I am so happy you're on this project with us. We need your expertise to get this project done. And I so love that you are such a no-nonsense science person. And that's what we need. So in our last conversation, something occurred to me when we spoke. You mentioned that to replicate this ingredient, that it's like trying to replicate an accident. And so, do you remember that conversation?
I do, yes.
Yeah. So since that conversation, I thought about it and said, well, there might be, a way to accelerate our progress in getting this product replicated. And is it okay if I explain how I think we could do that?
Sure. I have a couple of minutes though, Gary.
Okay, I'm gonna quit. Okay, so trying to replicate this accident, I was thinking to myself, what type of approach do we need? Do we need a more logical, linear approach where there's set goals, the steps are clear, the rules are clear? Or do we need a more non-sequential approach where the rules, are not so clear and the steps are not so set? So, so far we've used a very linear approach to trying to replicate this accident. So, do you see any challenge with that?
I can definitely see, some significant challenges. It's as, we've spoken before, it is, this was the ingredients itself was kind of by accident that we found it. And it has been quite challenging. And for us to replicate that for one person or one organization, I'm not sure it's worth our time.
Oh, it's not worth our time. Well, remember we talked about the revenue increase that it provide your company, and it would provide like another 8% increase into your revenue of your company. So I'm just curious why that's not interesting to you.
I mean, it's somewhat interesting, but for us to figure what we'd have to invest to figure out how to replicate it might be challenging.
Oh, is that the only problem you have is the investment of it?
At the moment, yes. And where will we be recognized for where the sourcing of this ingredients?
Oh, yes, you would definitely be recognized. And in fact, you mentioned that this is like a professional challenge for you to get this thing replicated, if you remember that.
Yep.
And then also we've mentioned that we would be financially support whatever the development costs would be. So that should not be an issue. Do you think so?
Yes, that is more enticing, yes.
So given the challenge, I mean, would it be fair that we probably are going to need a more non-sequential approach, since we've been working on this in this linear approach for a couple of years now and haven't been able to get the product replicated? Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
Yeah. And what's cool about it is that what we found, you look at like these tech companies that do these innovations that create things that have never been developed before. What they find is they are able to do that because they work with a team of people that have different skill sets that were able to bring something, merge their ideas and all to develop something that's never been done before. And they found all the most impactful patents in tech companies are created that way versus someone that's one person that's got very specialized knowledge. Does that make sense?
I got to run right now, Gary. So where would you like to go from here?
So my question is that we want your expertise, and we need that in the critical parts. My question is it okay if we bring our innovator in who knows how to connect all the haphazard dots and intermingle with you with your expertise to get this product produced? Would that work for you?
I think that would work.
Fantastic. Thank you.
Sorry, it's Joanne Lee and John Meng, Annie Lee, and Peter Swain are stuck rappelling down the active volcano, and they need your support. So could you take a quick call?
Yes, send the helicopter. I'll go right over.
All right, thank you. All right, Gary, sorry, Bella's got to jump for a sec. She'll be right back. Okay, excellent job, my friend. Let's go, Samuel. Who would you like Bella Rita to be as she returns from saving Peter, Swain, Annie, and John from the active volcano? Who would you like her to be?
I would like her to be Annabelle.
Okay. And what does Annabelle, who is Annabelle?
Oh, Annabelle is supposed to be someone that was supposed to sponsor a project, a real estate project for affordable housing in my country, state where I live. So, yeah.
All right. So you're supposed to be responding to an affordable housing project. You're Annabelle. Annabelle, please take us in.
Hello, Samuel. It's Annabelle.
Hi.
Hello.
Fine. Nice to meet you, ma'am.
Nice to meet you as well.
Okay, so I sent you an email about the project that we have already, structured for affordable housing. And then I was able to get to your PA so she could schedule a meeting, but she told me that you were very busy. So the project is actually scheduled to, work out for a year and 6 months. And we are looking forward to getting approval from your company who they're going to supply us some of the materials that we're going to use for the construction.
Gotcha. So you want us to approve the insurance for the construction? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes.
Got it. And what is it, covering different projects right now is, a bit challenging in ways that we really want to make sure that the project is, serving the community. And so can you tell me a little bit about the project and why we would want to insure it?
Okay, great. So we noticed that in this part of the world, there is not so much affordable housing for the general masses. And then if you get to take a look at the population, the average Nigerian cannot afford an apartment. And we're looking at, reducing that numbers because it's a high there's an increase in the housing deficit around here, and it's really crazy. So we are trying to, make partnership with other, companies that would also fund the project because, getting the finance is pretty crude as the mortgage system here is crazy. It's really crazy. So, yeah we're just looking for, a great partnership that will help us to be able to achieve that.
Got it. Well, I'm definitely, developing, helping out, those that, are a little, maybe less, I don't like to use the word fortunate, but I do understand where it is that you're coming from. And I would be interested in hearing more.
Okay. Thank you.
We'll schedule a meeting. I'll have my team reach out to you. We'll schedule a meeting and see where we go from there.
Yeah, thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Samuel.
All right, great job.
Back, Sean Callaghan.
Hello, Annabelle. How are you?
I'm amazing.
Okay, Mary, Annabelle, all kinds of fun things today. So excellent job, Samuel. Let's get to our judges. Lisa, would you mind giving 30 seconds of feedback to each of our amazing participants? 15 seconds on what worked, 15 seconds on what could be optimized, then a score on a scale of 1 to 10 for their heart-centered, integrous influence, and go from hello to yes. Like how much gravitational pull was there, the opening of listening, message received, the movement forward, like those sorts of things on a scale of 1 to 10. Lisa, let us please begin with Gary.
Okay. So with Gary, I was not on the call because my reception dropped. So I came in at the very end of Gary. But what I did hear, I got a little bit confused because I wasn't in the beginning.
About the energy, the connectivity. Then that's all.
Yeah, the energy was good. And I'm sorry, I can't remember the redhead's name.
The redhead was Mary in that scenario, but her name is actually Bella.
Bella. Okay.
Uh-oh, I think she's frozen too.
Yep. All right, we'll come back to Lisa in a minute. So Mike, how about yourself? What'd you have for Gary, my friend?
Oh, I thought it was awesome. One thing I would say is to appeal more towards his or her sense of significance. And I would have maybe go right to a joint venture right off the bat. Because if the money's not really going to move him or her, appeal to that sense of significance and say, hey, we can do this together. We can make it a joint venture. We can help change the world together. That would be my suggestion.
Are you saying that you think Bella Verita has some sense of significance?
Wasn't that the description? That was.
I was playing a role, Sean Callaghy.
Yeah. So for fun, team, let's get Lisa muted up and supported in case she's blocked. Thank you. So Mike, what score did you have for Gary?
I would say a 7 to 8.
Cool. Nice. All right, let's go with Samuel. Please, Mike.
Yeah, Samuel, I would say more specifics. So exactly what impact will the project have on the community? How many families will be helped by doing it to make it more a definite sense of purpose for the project? So yeah, not just as vague, but okay, so how many houses, how many projects, how many houses will be built? How will we help the problem? And then I would also set that follow-up meeting. I noticed Bella was the one who suggested a follow-up meeting. I never like to leave a meeting without setting a follow-up. Okay, what is the next step? So yeah, be more aggressive with setting that follow-up meeting to move the process further along. Nice. But all in all, I'd say 8. Yeah.
Yeah, great feedback. Thank you, Mike. Tom, what did you have, please, for Gary?
You're on mute, Tom.
Sorry, I appreciate the opportunity to comment on this. I mean, I was going to say I'm not in sales, but I thought that Gary seemed a little scripted at first, and that came off as a little bit inauthentic. But I thought overall it was very good. I thought he was very personable, and I thought he did a good job of kind of deconstructing Mary's initial "it's not worth our time" concern, and he addressed that, I thought, really strongly and made a very persuasive case for take a second look at this. And so I thought those were his strongest points. So I would also give him like a 7 or an 8.
Nice. Thank you, Tom, for that. And what did you have, please, for Samuel?
Well, I thought Samuel missed an opportunity in not maybe talking a little bit more about Nigeria and possibly some of the benefits and positives of doing business in Nigeria. It's got 200 million people. It's a democracy. It's there's thriving. Maybe you could appeal to that sense of entrepreneur in Annabelle and look at this as like sort of an opportunity to open some doors. But I thought Samuel did a good job of explaining what the mission here was and what he needed and how it could the risks that Annabelle was identifying could be averted. So overall, I'd give him about a 7 as well.
Nice. Well, thank you for that, Tom. Bella, do we have Lisa back on good audio or not yet?
We do not. No, sir.
Okay, so then let us keep rolling along here. Bella, while Lisa's getting herself all squared away, I think that maybe we should have some more fun. What do you think?
I'm always up for more fun, Sean Callaghy. Are you going to sing Holler Back Girl?
I will sing Holler Back Girl maybe tomorrow, not quite today.
Got it. Okay.
But I'm up for getting put on the spot. Do you think one of these people would want to put me on the spot, like Gary was on the spot and Samuel was on the spot? And, this is not just about selling. It's about integrous influence. Like, we don't solve prison reform challenges. We don't free people from sex trafficking. We don't change the unemployment rate for the blind. We don't build, scale, or grow our business and create employment situations. We don't deal with oppression, bias, corruption, any of those things without the superpower of influence. Because only the superpower of influence, in that space, do we reveal truth and make things happen. Our marketing, our selling, our leading, our scaling, our recruiting, our managing, our fundraising. So yeah, let's play with that. And I am happy, Bella Verita, to let one of these fine people put me on the spot. So who do you think that should be?
Is there anyone that is has a fire burning inside them that oh my God, I would love to put Sean on the spot? 3, 2, 1, go. Nobody does. Okay. So we're going to choose a number between 1 and 5. Mike, what number do you choose?
3.
Gary?
Yes.
What number would you choose between 1 and 5?
4.
Tom?
1.
Samuel?
3.
The number was 5. So Gary you get to put Sean on the hot seat. I like to call it a love seat because really and truly, you know, Sean gets to go from hello to yes in any scenario that you want to set up, Gary. So it could be the scenario that you just did, so you could learn, so you could like, you know, take some tools back, or you know, it could be like, you know, getting someone to go to Burning Man, or a marriage proposal, like that's happened before on the show. He's even like had to get someone that didn't wear makeup to wear makeup. So it could be any scenario that you want. You get to tell Sean what scenario he's going to play, and then who he's going to go from hello to yes with. So what do you think we should do with Sean?
Okay. Divided.
It has to be Integris. So we can't be selling swampland in the middle of New York City.
Oh shoot.
Yeah.
But anyway, if he can be persuading, I'm going to be the scientist and CEO that's significance driven and has been unwilling to work and collaborate with our group, and I'll be the scientist, you be the persuader.
All right, here we go. You ready?
Yes.
And so your name is Mary or no?
Well, I just had a you know, sex change, so I'm now John.
Okay. All right. So listen, hey John, thank you so much for taking the call. And I know we have not been able to make any headway on what we're chatting about, but I'm so thankful that you still took this phone call. So I really appreciate that, John. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Thank you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So John, at this juncture, my sense of this is that there's really meaningful resistance. And I am present to your brilliance as a scientist, your acceleration as an entrepreneur, and that you're creating extraordinary things in the world. And my curiosity is what isn't making sense to you, what isn't feeling right to you, because obviously I'm not trying to impose anything on anyone in the world. And I always think the only way that we can get that which we want is by giving other people what they want. And maybe that's not present here. But what is it that you're looking to create, John, in the world at this point in advancing this beautiful mission?
The challenge is, John, is that you give me these wild ideas about what I need to do in replicating this formula, and you give me some wild descriptions that it smells like this and it smells and looks like this and it has this certain texture. That doesn't do me any good. We need to stick with the scientific process to get this thing replicated. And it doesn't do me any good giving these wild descriptions.
Got it. Appreciate that. So you have created this before though, is that correct?
Yes, several years ago.
Yeah. So but you know, my question was, and I know we only have a little more than a minute to go, I hear those challenges, but what's the vision and the mission for the company? What are you looking to really create, do, and drive from this point? You've had so much success, created so much. What is it that you really want to do in creating your legacy? Like, where are you going?
Well, the biggest piece the reason I'm even doing this project is I want to do something that's challenging, and doing something, I want to make a name for myself to say, look, we discovered a way to develop this particular ingredient that does some amazing things. And I want to be the one that's sort of, because it was an accident in the past, and I want to figure out the accident.
Well, extraordinary. Then we're completely aligned. And all we want to do is create massively positive impact in the world as well. And what I'm standing for is if you will remain open to this and have a 30-minute meeting conversation, perhaps with a couple more folks on your team and me, that I think we could really create a structure and a strategy where you're going to get all of the recognition, the acknowledgement, the validation, the acceleration. We're going to demonstrate why this will be so impactful for people. But third, we're also going to create a mechanism of how to fund it that makes sense truly, so that your credible enterprise is getting paid at some level for this R&D work with other investor money. Might be something that causes you to see that it's valuable and meaningful for you to invest time and energy, but also that without an enormous expenditure of resources, you can create this breakthrough impact and have all those accolades, all that acceleration, and quite honestly, all that fulfillment, achievement from doing something that nobody else has ever been able to do before. So would that be worth sitting down for 30 minutes to brainstorm on how do we create the ease of the friction of your time and energy investment to have it make even more sense and close that gap on how we recreate this. What are your thoughts?
I'm open to it as long as we agree that you don't come in with what we've done in the past and come in with these things that don't help us about giving us descriptions about the product. But I'd be open if you have another way that is more scientifically based.
Got it. Well, my commitment is when we set this meeting up, I'm going to bring with me a scientist that's going to help me articulate this in a new, better, and different way. And we're going to begin to close that gap in the process and find ways to get it funded.
Okay. Let's do it.
All right. Out of roll. All right, Gary, how did that feel for you?
Yeah, it definitely, it gives me some ideas about how to deal with this gentleman. And so, yeah, you're definitely appealing to that significance and in a very soft way, authentic way. And even at the beginning, that's the biggest thing that hit me. Very genuine, very warm, very whatever, respectful. So yeah, so I liked it. Yeah, and be fair to you, there's some other aspects that you don't know about that, but overall, I love. Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, thank you, brother. And Bella, how'd that feel for you, by the way?
It was absolutely beautiful. And I love how, Tony Robbins said there's no one that leads with more heart and more integrity than Sean Callaghy. And you demonstrated that in that. And I think that's with Gary's takeaway. What's so important is to appeal to someone's significance. As you say all the time, is to speak into the listening of others. And if you know someone is significance driven, is you want to speak into that listening.
Yeah. And by the way, thank you, Bella. It's authentic. Oprah Winfrey says that the reason she held the microphone for 30,000 people is because she said, I see you, I hear you, and what you say matters to me. That's why she held it for 30,000 people, became a multi-billionaire. So in these situations, provided it's absolutely authentic, that you do really feel this person is, uniquely gifted, talented as a scientist, there's these things going on, we do have 6 human needs, and one of them is significance. And so if somebody is growth driven, connection driven, significance driven, we could be entirely in integrity and be sharing our communication once we open their listening through that prism of what their listening is all about. So, again, thank you, Gary. It was a really fun.
Thank you. That was very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, brother. Okay, so let's drop back in. Mike, thank you for being here today. Extraordinary job. Let me ask you this question. Mike, what's a yes that matters to you in the world?
Right now, it's an interesting time because as we launch the new version of the software, I'm also starting to really scale the company. And in doing so, I want to put together an advisory board with top tier people in several different categories, like finance and SaaS, somebody who's built and sold a SaaS company before. So I guess getting a yes to be on the board from the right people would be very helpful to me.
This is super fun. One of the people in Unblinded Elite, it was one of the people, Bella, that was in Costa Rica with us, has just put together an insane board with major, CFO of Fortune 100 company, one of the largest consulting firms in the world that does 200 billion plus a year in assets. Just had somebody retire. There's a national partner came onto her board as well, and a couple other amazing people. So the question becomes, because you're extraordinary, obviously, Mike, what is it that would cause somebody to want to be on your board? If you had to share it in 2-3 sentences from your heart, like removing all the friction that we hear about being falsely modest, but genuinely being humble, which is not thinking we're better or less than anybody else in the world. What makes you uniquely, amazingly you that would cause somebody to want to be on this board with you, Mike?
Well, aside from the financial aspect, right? But because, once we do scale, of course, there'll be a financial benefit to the board members. But I mean, not to brag or anything, but I could really just sell the company now and just be done. But then the reason I wanted to create the DIY, the do-it-yourself version of the software is so that everybody can use it, right? Right now, it's not scalable we only work with really large companies because we custom build every presentation. So the reason I'm still doing it and the reason I wanted to build the DIY version is to offer it to everybody. So I really think it is a game changer in sales and presentations, and it can be used in so many different things and help so many different people. So I guess that's.
Mike, what I'm hearing from you is you've been incredibly successful penetrating one of the most competitive marketplaces in the world, which was working with teams of thousands of salespeople. I mean, brother, to move into that marketplace with any software is extraordinary. And there's no reason to think these people wouldn't want to be a part of something unbelievable that could be brought to everybody. Because if you could penetrate that marketplace, where couldn't you get to? Is that what I'm hearing you say?
It is, yeah. But I guess in the back of my mind, there's always that, why would they? They're probably asked by millions of people to be on the board, right?
Yeah,
so,
brother, listen to me on this, please. I share this in from all my heart. Also, fun Oprah quote or statement is when Beyonce came onto Oprah and performed and sang, and Beyonce is top of the entertainment world. As soon as she was done, she turned to Oprah when she let the cameras were off and said, "How'd I do?" Everybody feels that way, right? Everybody feels that way. And I say this with all my heart. I'm a blind man that 3.5 years ago walked into Tony Robbins' room. I was a business owner and an operator, created a very successful entrepreneurial adventures in the law, had 125 people working for me, was able to take all kinds of time off, but I was blind. I'd lost my sight, the course of my life, stopped driving about 9 years ago, actually 10 years ago now. And I walked into Tony Robbins' room and I'm like, what the hell am I even doing here? Like he said, give a high five. I gave a high five to the person behind me. I missed, they hit me in the face. And I'm like, I don't belong here. 2.5 years later, Tony Robbins is quoting what Bella said, that nobody leads with more heart and integrity than Sean Callaghy. And if you don't know what he's up to in the world, you need to. Gave me a $50 million endorsement from somebody who he won't endorse like anything. And that process happened because I believed. And you are obviously extraordinary, brother, already with what you've done. So people, I want to believe in you. I'm like, dude, I'm interested. Like, this is interesting. Like what you're doing, it's extraordinary. So yes, people would want to be on your board, and people, even more than the product, they want to buy you. And I already want to buy you. I mean, your humility, your integrity, what you've done already, it's an extraordinary story. So thank you for being here today. And my hopeful gift is that you just never forget how extraordinary you are and all the things you've already done, and how people are looking for leadership like yours to do fun, cool stuff with. So great job, man.
Love you. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you. And by the way, how'd you enjoy your time here today?
It was awesome. Yeah, I didn't know what to expect. So I'm very pleasantly surprised. Thank you for the invite.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's go. Tom, how was your time with us here today, my friend?
Yeah, it was really interesting and eye-opening. And I didn't like what Mike said. I didn't really know what to expect. It's been informative.
Yeah. And Tom, I started my legal career one town away from you, I believe. Lentz, Goldman, and Spitzer is where I started. Woodbridge is like a town or two away from Westfield, correct?
Yeah, and we had some overlap at Seton Hall. I saw that when you were there the 1 year that I was there. I seem to recall your name from like a moot court competition I did, but I couldn't even say there. There were a lot of Sean's at Seton Hall as I went out there.
There was a criminal defense attorney's son who was in my class named Sean. I'm forgetting. He was a major criminal defense attorney in New Jersey, arguably the top guy. His son was Sean.
I know exactly who you're thinking. Yeah, the major, but the last name escapes me as well. But I'm sure there's plenty of people we know.
Yeah. And what year you graduated? What year?
In 94.
94. So you were third year when I was a first year.
When you were a first year.
Yeah, very cool. Well, Tom, it's an honor and pleasure. Thank you for being here today.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah, awesome. Do we have Lisa back, Bella, or Lisa?
No, we do not.
Awesome. Gary, brother, really cool job. I love the energy. Bringing the energy. How was your time with us here today?
Two things is I really appreciate the comments from the panelists. It's invaluable getting that feedback, and they were spot on with their comments, so it made me better. And I really do, and I know from working with people, that genuine authenticity is so important. And it's just great to see how you do what you do. And I just love it. So thank you so much. Great experience.
Thank you for being here. And Samuel, wonderful job. Love the scenario. I love when we create like international flavor to what's happening here. It's a beautiful moment. Thank you for being here. And how was your time with us?
Awesome. Amazing. Even though we're just coming back from work, it's been a stressful day. Thank you guys for having me here. Consider it a privilege to be on here, and I really enjoyed my time here too. And I look forward to connecting with you guys beyond Zoom, and of course have a great conversation going on too. Thanks.
Thank you, brother. Appreciate it very much. And just for everybody, the work that we do here, because sometimes that can get a little bit lost in the fun shuffle of the real raw, goes far beyond Integrous Influence. It goes into how we apply it and how we get ourselves to apply it, where we apply it to create scale and growth in our marketing, our selling, our leadership, all of it. So yes, we talk about Integrous Influence applied to all those things, but also where to apply it to create acceleration, because we could be the most persuasive people in the entire world, and I know many of them, but if we're in the wrong spaces, communicating with the wrong avatars to help us grow, scale, develop, and accelerate, then nothing really happens. So with that said, Bill of Rita, final, my friend, as always, amazing job.
Yes, I'd say, final today is, feeling into really, truly what is integrity-based human influence and what is possible on the other side of the yes. And, I've been part of Unblinded for like 6 months now, and everything that I see behind the camera is everything that I see in front of the camera. To witness you move about and add so much value in the Tony world and in that space this weekend in Costa Rica, that I think if everybody could just take away even 1% of that, you'd have more time, money, and magic in the world. And so Sean actually created a gift for everyone. There's a link in the chat. So definitely make sure you download that, because there is a formula. There is a formula from going from hello to yes with 12 indispensable elements, 4 steps, and 4 energies. And you want to know what those are. And so one of our team members, definitely download the guide, and one of our team members is going to reach out to you to see how we can support you in having more time, money, and magic. So I know Gary is excited about that call. I can see it on his face. So hopefully the rest of you are as well. Back to you, Sean.
And with all my heart, I spend an extraordinary amount of time, energy, and money on my own personal development and acceleration at this point. And 24 years ago changed my life. I was working for a large law firm in New Jersey, and I had $100,000 of law school debt. I wasn't sure what to do and where to go. And I realized that our ability to create relationships with people that we don't know is really the source of creating freedom in a capitalist structure. And the only way to do that is to add massive value for people. That's what we stand for, because this whole mission is about leaders causing leadership. And I don't mean and I don't mean this disparagingly, like Boy Scout leadership, like, yes, and we're going to salute and say goodbye, which I honor completely. The leadership, meaning how we cause people to break through their comfort zones, paradigms, acceleration, to make great things happen, to create partnerships where 1 + 1 = 1 trillion relationships to make the world an even greater place. That's what it's all about. And thank you all for participating. More than 3,000 folks have been on the show. And Gary, Samuel, Lisa, thank you. Despite the technical difficulties, Common Mike, we're here every day to support people in seeing what they don't see, because Bella Verita, we're all blind.
We're all blind. And Diora says we're all blind and just learning to see. Bye-bye,
Awesome.
everyone.
Surf and Safari team, Surf and Safari, since I got some waves in my future in the next few minutes. So thank you guys.
Have fun.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.
Let's go surfing now.